Husker Nation?
Welcome back.
I'm Matt.
I'm Jimmy.
We're two average guys, and I think I can really say I'm not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it at all.
Not feeling it after yesterday. That was tough.
I guess that's one way to put it. I don't know how many other descriptions you can use, but quite a few to elaborate on that. Not good.
Not good. So, I mean, we came off a bye week. Purdue just, beat Iowa last week.
2 weeks ago.
Or 2 weeks ago, sorry.
And then they got beat by Wisconsin last week.
Yeah, and then, we come out and really just kind of dropped an egg against Purdue. I mean, yes, we didn't really drop an egg, but it sure felt that way. Didn't feel good the whole game. Just kind of...
yeah.
I mean, we were leading at half, 17-14, but, I mean, we really could have been up.
Well, about the only time I felt a little bit comfortable was the first touchdown drive. And then I don't know if I felt comfortable after that. I mean, Martinez throws a pick six that was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, like you said, we were even up 17-14, and he has a wide open Torre for a touchdown right before half.
So I don't put there's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, there was.
Fault that was, which was actually really funny to listen to during the show.
What do you got on it?
I mean, I think Toure, it looked like he kind of slowed down last minute and didn't quite get extended. I also think at that point in the game, I was kind of hoping to see him lay out as well. Like, try to maybe get your feet off the ground and jump. Yes, Adrian could have put it in the basket, of course, or even a little bit behind him because he was that wide open. But I do think Toure, it looked like he might have slowed up a little bit.
Well, and, I mean...
Maybe. I don't know.
The announcers were like, oh, it could have been the shadows because of right at that time.
Could have been the wind.
And it could have been. It kind of looked like he didn't really extend out as far as he could have. It seemed like he kind of short-armed it a little bit. I mean, you can take it however you want it, I guess. I don't know that was necessarily... I mean, that would have been big.
Yeah.
Going up by 10, getting the ball to start the second half. But they start the second half, and Martinez runs it on third down, and all he has to do is put the ball out for a first down, and he just goes out of bounds with the ball behind him. And it's like, man, during this bye week, how do we not figure this type of stuff out?
And so, I mean, we're on the...
It's something different every time.
Yeah. And we're on the topic of Adrian, and we'll stick with that first. Lance, welcome to the show. Says bench Adrian. So here's the deal. What I've seen this year in Adrian is it feels like he's regressed. He's gotten worse every game. Obviously, we've seen some really. He's not a gray area guy. He's either great or he struggles, and it's like we can't even get like you're great and you struggle a little bit. It's like no, it's you're one way or the other. And yesterday was one of those examples of you did not have a good game. You were awful.
Well, and I mean, and we've talked about him a lot for 4 years, but for someone that can be so great, he is just the most inconsistent.
Yeah.
I mean, he can do something so good, and then at the snap of your fingers, have it be the opposite, completely bad. Like, who would ever do that? So it's really getting pretty tough. And I know they were talking about it on the broadcast. Does he come back next year? And earlier in the year, I would have thought maybe. Earlier in the year, I would have thought maybe, sure, yeah. And now, I don't know.
We've talked about it. I mean, we thought, there's a good chance he comes back. He has an offensive line who now has some continuity. They've had a full year under the belt to play together with these young guys. They're another year older. They're going to get stronger in the offseason. We thought, we're like, I don't see why he wouldn't come back. He's not going to go pro. Like, he's not going to go pro as a quarterback. So we figured he'd come back. The offense is going to have a lot of guys returning.
It will.
But I don't see it happening. I don't know if he's. We got to get somebody. I think Smothers. We got to get. Oh my God! I'm sorry. I'm babbling because I don't know what to say, guys.
Yeah, that's probably pretty
so
well put.
Steve Sipple, next coach, dude. I can't stand Sip. I really can't. he one day he loves Frost. The next day he's like, "Where's open the door, get him out of here." Like, just make up your mind, man.
For clicks or something, I don't know, but
Rutgers' end of season last year was a mix.
That's
of
true.
Martinez.
That's
Yeah,
right.
You're right, Jake. Yep. Let's be careful. So Frost sealed his fate by not benching Martinez. Should take a page out of Lincoln Riley's book and give the backup a chance.
I mean, if Martinez, whether he's coming back or not, you gotta probably go after a transfer portal quarterback and make some competition.
But
I mean, there can't be the drop off is so significant that we just have to leave him in. That's not acceptable to me.
So here's my problem is this isn't Smothers isn't a true freshman. Harburg's a true freshman. So Smothers is there again, second year, and we've seen Martinez. We've seen We've seen him be one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and then we've seen him be one of the worst quarterbacks in the country. But the fact that he's starting to regress this year, and we're not seeing that production be consistent, which in year 4 it should, is Smothers really just not ready? Because even Frost said, I never thought about taking Martinez out. So either we have an extreme problem with our head coach, which I know a lot of people will say yes we do with not benching Adrian Martinez, or we have that big of a problem with the drop-off between Martinez to Smothers, and that is a coaching problem with Mario, and we've been on fire Mario for 2 years now.
Well, the thing about it too is, I mean, if it's that Martinez has all the experience and Smothers doesn't have it, and that's why you don't want to you got to give him it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one way to have that happen, and it's to give him a chance, especially in the game like Minnesota or Purdue. I know that both games we were in them. I mean, you can say, I guess, in them all the way till the end, and they were one-score games, one-possession games. Not really. Both games we were down by 2 scores and scored a touchdown late or got points late, so it looks like a one-score game. I mean, it is a one-score game, but you know what I mean.
It wouldn't even matter. I mean, we're still not winning the one-score games with Adrian.
Exactly.
I mean, when we have the chance, we're not doing it.
Happened like 18 times in 4 years.
Yeah.
We've lost one-score games.
Every game this year, every game we've lost this year has been one score.
Mm-hmm.
We could be 9-0.
Yeah.
How ridiculous is 9-0 when we have Michigan State's undefeated and we should have beat them, but we screwed up one play on special teams.
That was actually probably one of the ones we for sure should have won.
Michigan just had the first loss to Michigan State. You got Kenneth Walker, who's going to be going to New York for the Heisman, being a Heisman candidate. We held him to 38 yards.
Yeah, I'd say 40 yards.
Oklahoma's undefeated, and now their backup. Actually, I think their backup probably would have beat us better than Rattler did. But I feel like we're the only team in the country that doesn't have a backup quarterback that can come in and play. You see it all the time in college football. Why do we never?
Yeah.
We have never seen it at Nebraska. Well, we've seen it, not in a long time though. Our backup QB has to be ready, and if they're not, that is on the coaches 100%. If you're saying Smothers is not ready to come in and play, or he doesn't have the experience, we can't play him, I'm not buying it. That means he's not ready. We have a coaching problem. And I've known we've had a coaching problem.
Backup quarterbacks should be game ready. Isn't that what coaches are for?
100%.
Yeah,
Lynn,
exactly.
100%. And that's what's so frustrating, Lynn, is what's Mario doing to prepare these quarterbacks? Because guess what? If Adrian leaves and we don't get a transfer quarterback and we have Smothers starting, is Harburg not going to be ready?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to go down that path over and over again, we're never going to win games. We're going to continue to lose games.
And then you can bring in whoever you want quarterback, but unless you start them and plan to play them 4 years like we did with Martinez, then or not, if somebody's not showing improvement, then it's next man up, and that's just not really there. And that's what it was last year with McCaffrey, and that actually did light a fire under Martinez last year, where he got benched and he came back better.
I was at my parents watching the game, and my mom gets probably more frustrated than I do watching the game. And I turned to her and I said, we gave Luke McCaffrey a chance last year to play. Yet we cannot give Smothers a chance? Jimmy and I have been huge supporters of Adrian Martinez. I love the kid. I think he's a great kid, and we know how talented he is, but he's not. He threw 4 interceptions yesterday. And none of them were good. The shovel pass interception was just terrible. Horrible. Like, you're in your 4th year and you're still making those types of decisions. It's time to move on. And if we give McCaffrey a chance, who's definitely not a quarterback, he can't even start at Rice.
Yeah.
But we can't give Smothers a quarterback, which we've already seen play this year. It's like, all right, he can throw the ball, he can run the ball. Let's get him in.
And even if he doesn't have as big a playmaking ability as Adrian does, because he probably doesn't, but give him a chance. I mean, what can I do? Just shake things up.
Yeah.
Teams now know how to play against Martinez. And maybe that's why there was kind of so much promise going from year 1 to year 2 was he was really good but would, make some mistakes or didn't have all the pieces around him.
Yep.
And everybody thought he was going to be so good year after year. But everybody's figured him out. I mean, the third and 3 to 8 where you do a Martinez keeper, that doesn't work anymore. I mean, unless he rolls out on a pass play and ends up keeping it. But
there was one possession yesterday where we ran the ball once for 2 or 3 yards, and then we ran the ball one more time for 1 yard, and then our 3rd and 6 call was a quarterback keeper. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah, Tim, sorry. So I should mention, no, I'm not a bad fan, but I was fed up with yesterday's game. I turned it off with 11 and a half minutes in the 4th quarter. I couldn't watch anymore. So I only saw 2 interceptions in the game. I guarantee the second 2. So yeah, it doesn't really matter whose fault it was, but he threw 3 interceptions that were his fault. But those are our defense again. Our defense I thought played a little soft yesterday. We played a lot of zone, but Cam Taylor-Britt was locked down on Bell. I think he did a great job. He 74 yards with 0 TDs. I mean, no one's held Bell to 74 yards and no TDs this year. So great job by Cam Taylor. Overall, the defense wasn't bad, but we played soft. We let him get across the middle on those 3-yard slants by the fullback, running back, slot guy, whatever he was.
Yeah, they were playing a little soft in coverage, and like you said, I guess they're just going to be able to throw it wherever they want it all day or whatever.
I did say that.
Something like that. But, yeah, man, I don't know. It's getting old.
And even the announcers, which by the way they were awful.
They were
as much as we know, Adrian struggled yesterday. I've never seen an announcing crew harp on anybody on the field as much as they harped on Adrian Martinez. They went a little overboard. Like at the beginning, they talked about how he struggled, and then it was like I'm going to keep piling on. Like I thought that was a little unnecessary for an ESPN crew to go after a college kid like that. A pro quarterback go after, but a college kid, he's not trying to screw up. He's not trying to make mistakes, and then you're just up there like harping on him. I thought that was a little unnecessary. But what they said wasn't necessarily untrue. But you don't need to say it on national television.
Well, and I think one of the guys they were saying was from Nebraska. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know who he is, but no. Going back to what you said about the defense playing a little soft, I think. So I saw somebody posted. They said,
I meant soft in coverage.
Soft in coverage. Agreed. And I knew what you meant because I thought the same thing. But I think, or someone posted, and I really agreed with this. They said the defense has got to be getting tired of playing their asses off and being, pretty good, and for the offense to let them down, and they're just getting they've kind of gotten worn out of it. And it, not necessarily, but even when they got the last touchdown, I'd maybe say, I don't know if it was that whole drive. It was just kind of like, man, that tweet really kind of hit home on that. It's like, man, they just kind of seem defeated. We've been doing this for weeks, and it hasn't it hasn't worked out.
Just bailing out the offense.
Yeah, and I'm not calling anybody out. I couldn't put on one particular player or anything like that, or even just one play like, oh, I saw somebody give up. Nothing like that. No. It just seems like they probably are a little defeated.
Well, and even so, part of the defense is you're playing to the coverage that you're put in. Your coach is telling you to play this coverage. So if they beat you, it's not necessarily you; it's the coverage, because they beat our coverage more than they beat our guys. If we would play more one-on-one, that one guy, Aguilar or whatever, or not Aguilar, whatever. Who's the guy that had kept coming out of the backfield and making catches, or slot guy?
Was it the slot guy or was it the running
back?
I
can't remember. Whoever it was that caught a TD pass, but he kept getting behind our D, running behind our linebackers or in front of them. I mean, that's the coverage. So, and we just didn't adjust to that coverage. But again, that is not our defense is not losing us games. The fact that we cannot do anything on offense, and we're getting beat in time of possession almost doubled,
Exactly.
We never change.
Well,
they made adjustments at half.
Well, and we're up 17-14 at half, but the defense played a lot of that first half, and then played a lot of this. I mean, even more in the second half. So I mean, yeah, they get worn out. They get worn down.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it shows that what ends up happening. You know, even some of the better players aren't all in on every play necessarily. Yeah. And by that I mean they're not at the ball like they are in the first half. Yeah. You know, so.
Well, I mean, when you have the ball for 30 seconds as an offense, 3 plays and out over and over again, you're not you don't get that breather that you need. And no defense in the country is going to be able to play great if they're on the field twice as much as the offense. Like, exactly. It just doesn't happen. And we got it again. We don't make changes. We rushed for 6.9 yards per carry in the first half. In the second half, I don't even know if we got 2 yards per carry. They made adjustments. We made 0 adjustments. They knew we're going to stop the run, and that's what they did. And then we couldn't do anything else. It's frustrating as hell watching that game. It's so frustrating. And again, I say second half. I mean the third quarter and the first 4 minutes of the fourth quarter. I couldn't do it, guys. It's so frustrating. And like Ross says, is there any other program in the country that's going to keep a coach who averages 4 wins or less per season? I don't know, guys. If we don't win another game this year, I don't think Frost survives.
I don't think so.
If we go 3-9, he's done. And I don't see why you wouldn't can him after only 3, even 4 wins. If we get one more win, I would love to beat Iowa, by the way. If we beat Iowa, I'm not happy with the season, but I'll just be happy to end that streak of losing to them. But at this point, we have to me, a more talented team than Wisconsin and Iowa. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if we're going to show it. I don't know. I think we can.
Wisconsin's starting to figure it out. Playing really good on defense, and they're just running the ball.
I'm like 50-50 on that, because if you watched that game yesterday, that was a horrible football game.
It was.
Both teams offensively were not good. Wisconsin just happened to win field position more than anything else.
They did. And their defense played a little better. And that's what got them to better position.
End of the third quarter, I think Iowa still had negative rush yards at that point. It's just not good. So Patrick here says it's over. At some point, you have to look at the record. Stop looking at the name. This is their identity. Lose 1-score games. Another year doesn't fix this. Talent is better, but when you don't have coaching that can coach it, put them in better situations, there's only one way to fix that. I think that's, Patrick, you hit the nail on the head. The record's the record. At some point, we talk about how, hey, we're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. We've been saying it for a few years now.
But
we're almost
every
there.
time we're almost there, then we almost look worse for the next couple weeks.
And we're not there. That's the problem.
They needed the bye week. They really needed it. They really needed it because they've been going strong for 8 weeks plus fall camp.
We haven't won after a bye week with Frost.
And
we're going 4.
We're at home against a team that we should beat, and then we don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Corey says something happened between Michigan and Minnesota, not the same product on the field, nor is the coaching the same. What happened to the no fear of failure coaching and playing approach? I think yes and no. I can see that maybe some things have changed, but our offensive coaching has not changed. It's been horrible all year. Our defense, I think, maybe has changed a little bit, but I just don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a mentality thing, Corey. It's tough to say because, again, I'm not in the locker room, but the guys. You listen to the guys in the post game, and man, it's heartbreaking. You listen to JoJo yesterday.
Yeah.
God, that kid. We met him.
Yeah, we met him last.
We got to meet him last weekend, and some of the other guys. And I tell you what, these kids care way more than we do as fans about winning games, and they don't want to continue losing. And so it's not like they're not playing their hearts out. We know they are, but the execution's not there. And again, you have to have that leader with the ball to kind of help you get to the next point. And right now, we don't have that guy making those plays. And it's just not happening on all fronts, and that's frustrating because the kids want it. And listening to JoJo, almost in tears, talking about how he's in pain because they're not winning games, and everybody in the locker room is like, you feel that. That's pain. Those guys are going through it way more than we are as fans. It sucks.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like you said, they seem to not really make changes on offense, and that's true. We start doing the option.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this works. And we did a little bit, but I don't know. It's just like everything that we think. Like, I saw a tweet that was talking about Ramir Johnson's average yards per carry. And yeah, don't get me wrong. Yank came in and had a couple nice runs, and so he ended up they kind of stuck with him. But then he's just, Ramirez just kind of an afterthought after a good start. I don't know. It's like every time and then we've done it before where a running back will have a great game, and like a really good game, and then the next game he's like non-existent.
Yeah.
It's like, why? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing. I don't know if we're trying to be sneaky or something, but we've talked about that before. It just doesn't make sense. Just go with what's working. And what's been working hasn't been working.
Yeah.
So try something else.
Yeah. Mitchell here says that, how does OU bench its starter and keep winning? I mean, I think their backup was better than Rattler to begin with. I think Rattler had a lot of hype. It's also the Big 12. Defense is a lot different in the Big 10 and the Big 12, but again, they're still winning. Yeah. At this point, it doesn't matter. I would take a win over anything else right now for this Husker program. I want to see these guys win. I want to see the kids win. They want it. We want it as fans. Just not as much as they do, of course, but they're sick of losing. It's how do you, JoJo's in his fifth or sixth year, and he can't get. His last time winning games was that season that we had a super easy schedule with Riley. I mean, he's frustrated.
And he probably just played a little bit. I think that was when he started showing out a little bit.
So it's it's frustrating. I know we're frustrated as fans, and it gets harder and harder to continue to talk about because again, if Frost is done, then
what?
There's other coaches you can go after. I don't think it's a money problem. The 20 million, 21 million, whatever it is, it's not a money problem. We'll find a way to pay for him. That's not an issue because what's going to happen is you bring him back. If you bring him back, here's what my assumption is, Jimmy.
Okay.
Whether we win 3, 4, 5 games, I still have a hunch, unless we get blown out our last 3 games, it's going to have to be pretty bad. I still think Scott comes back this year, or this next year. But Trev Alberts is going to be involved in the coaching decisions and say, if you don't get rid of some of your assistants, you won't be back next year. It's almost going to be an ultimatum.
And that's kind of what I've
You're going to have to get rid of Austin, you're going to have to get rid of Mario, get rid of Dawson, on special teams, special teams on that I did actually see a replay of the onside kick. For one, Colt kicked a great ball.
Oh, yeah, they said it was a perfect kick.
Great kick. Why do we have, every team that you watch kick an onside kick is going to have the hands team, which is generally offensive guys, right? Guys that can catch the ball with their hands, really good with their hands. Why do we have a bunch of defensive guys out there? Where's Allen? Where's Vokalek? Where's Falk? Where's Lever? Where are guys?
With Allen being 6'9".
Where are the guys that can catch that ball? And it wasn't Cam Taylor.
It was Cam.
It was Cam back there. But just in general, whether the ball didn't, he unfortunate bounce last second. The guy made a good play. Whatever. But why is our offensive guys not out there? Why is Toure not out there? Like, you got to have your guys that are going to catch the ball.
Yeah.
No matter what.
I feel you.
And I'm not blaming Cam on that whatsoever from the replay.
No.
I mean, he was right there. The guy just made a good play on him, and it is what it is. But, man, like, someone made that point yesterday. I'm like, that's a good point. Like, again, special teams. Why do we not have...
Well, and actually the special teams were pretty
They were better.
Than that. And I saw, like, man, can this team ever put it all together? Like, the offense will be good, which has been rare, but the defense will be amazing, the offense will be okay, and special teams is terrible, cost the game.
Yep.
Defense pretty good, offense pretty good, special teams cost the game.
Special teams is great, defense
special
is
teams
pretty
is
good,
offense terrible. I mean, is there any time we can get, even it just to be like pretty good across the board? Yeah. I don't know.
And
it's really old.
Ralph says there's probably at least 40 to 60 coaches that could win 6 games minimum with our players. I mean, there's just that's
probably true.
That's the thing. It's frustrating because we've always been huge Frost supporters too, and it's getting harder because if he's the one calling plays on offense, then that needs to change. Well, somebody else needs to take. Is it Lubick? We brought him in to be the offensive coordinator.
It's like the offense has gotten worse since he got here.
But he was supposed to be the offensive coordinator, and then after the Illinois game, Frost was like, I was calling plays. Why? Why did we bring in? Is he actually an offensive coordinator, or is he a receiver coach?
What's he doing? Just coaching receivers?
So I don't know. I don't know what he was doing at UCF that changed so much when he came to Nebraska. Obviously, I think the coaches need to change. If he stays, then he's got to get rid of a hell of a lot of guys. He's got to bring in guys with Big Ten experience, guys that have been in the league for a while, and guys that know how to win football games.
So I'm not saying that it doesn't work, because it does, but I mean, your coach doesn't have to be a former player at your school.
No.
I mean, or have ties to the university. I mean, it's great. I mean, when we hired Frost, everybody was all excited. We were all excited. But you look at Harbaugh. I mean, he can't get over the hump either. I mean, he gets beat by Tucker.
This is the best year they've had in a long time.
And he still can't get over the hump. And they'll probably get blown out by Ohio State too.
I don't know.
But
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I just heard. I was listening to something the other day, and it's like, the coach does not have to be tied to the program. And maybe when they are, maybe they feel too much pressure, or maybe they try too hard, and it doesn't. In certain areas, it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. If you have somebody that's not, like Russ said, 40 to 60 coaches can come in and win 6 games with the players that we have. Maybe those coaches would not be zoned in on something so crazy that they could win those games. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just throwing out.
Yeah, I mean, and we've said it from day one this year in our preseason show is the talent is there. My God, we have a roster of some raw talent. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people might disagree with that, but if you watch the guys when they do get shown on the field, for shit's sake, Betts had 1 catch yesterday. You barely saw him the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Why? Omar Manning had a few catches. He was dinged up the entire game. He was hobbling around.
Oh, he caught a touchdown and hobbled off the field.
Yeah. I mean, and then every catch he hobbles. I mean, he played with a lot of heart. These guys are talented individuals, and we aren't doing a good job of letting them showcase that to make their next move to the NFL. There's guys that are playing in the NFL. We just got 9 new autographs on our helmet, and I guarantee you, every one of those guys can be an NFL player. A lot of them still will be on NFL rosters, if not, all of them. I don't know, but
unfortunately for them, they probably won't get drafted. They're going to have to try to sign on with somebody to make the team. Yeah, and that's because this happens every week.
Yeah,
I mean, even if they're that good, they're a part of an offense or a defense that just can't get it together.
Yeah, and I don't have a list of coaches that I would say you got to bring them in. Someone put Fickle, Aranda, and Campbell. I don't know. Everyone's been on the Campbell train for a while. I don't know if he would fit the Big Ten mold. I don't know. I could be wrong. It can't get much worse though. I mean, it shouldn't be able to get any worse than what we have right now. I think that. Comes to you're talking about Mel Tucker. I mean, the guy hit the transfer portal hard because Michigan State lost a crap ton of guys. So he's like, transfer portal, boom, I want you, I want you, I want you. You have some playing experience, I want you. He brought in a crap ton of guys. I don't know what it's going to do for their depth on their team, but right now it's working. And guess what? They're undefeated, and they're probably going to be in the top 4.
They should be.
I mean, they probably will be with Cincinnati, Georgia, and probably Ohio State. Bama might be 5.
We'll see. I can see Alabama being ahead. But
they could be ahead in Ohio State 5. Either way.
No, I was thinking, we'll see on Tuesday. I was thinking that Michigan State might be 5 behind.
Maybe. But, we're at that point. And it hurts to even say that because we've been just such strong supporters of Adrian, such strong supporters of Frost in the program, but, man, it's hard. Turning off a game, it's not what I want to do. I don't leave games when I'm at a game. I stay the entire time. JoJo called out the fair weather fans. People got pissed about it. Listen, you can be mad all you want, but I go for those guys to be successful, and I want them to be successful. He's mad because people are leaving and giving up on him, and that's frustrating. And you can say people are giving up on the coaches. That's fine, but stay for the players because they see that. And there was booze, is what I heard. I mean, that's unfortunate. I mean, that sucks, and people are pissed. But I don't want to hear booing at our stadium. I don't want to hear people are leaving because the players see it. I get it. You're mad at the coaches, but don't give up on the guys.
Well, and two, I mean, every home game is recruiting weekend. So I mean, as hard as it is to say, no matter what the score is, you got to stay. But I mean, kids see that.
Yeah. Yeah, and we tout ourselves as the best fans in the country, but I don't know. After what I heard yesterday and what I saw on the news, that's hard to watch when you got people leaving the stadium and people booing. I don't think I've ever seen that at Memorial Stadium.
Well, I mean, I wasn't really around here during the Callahan era, but it may have been around the same.
Maybe. Maybe. So, anyways, you know, it's, I don't know what else to say, guys. If you got any more questions, throw them my way. But it's, right now, I mean, we're frustrated. We want to see wins. I still support the kids, the guys playing on the field, because you know they're working their butts off. The results aren't there for them. They're just as frustrated, if not more, than we are. I think we need to see some changes up front.
Yeah, and you know, like Matt said, we met, you know, not 9. We met 6 of the guys last week. If you didn't see, check it out. But I mean, they're awesome guys to talk to. You can just tell, you know, they did need the bye week. I mean, they were excited to have a little bit of time off,
a little bit of sleep
and rest. But you know, they were geared up and ready to go. You know, they're not punching it in like, oh, you know, we're just kind of calling it because we're not doing too well. Like they're still putting the work in.
Well, these guys are playing for the future too.
And they are.
They want to get to that next level.
Yeah.
They don't want to work like we do. they want to work in the NFL, right? So
certainly not.
You know, I hope that you know, this next game against Ohio State, 11 o'clock. We'll see how
the big noon kickoff game.
Yeah.
So is the
big
crew
gonna be
yeah. Great.
Which I don't care. We got to come out and perform well, and you know, if we play like we've seen the guys play this year against Ohio State, we're gonna compete, but we have to see it.
And maybe that'll light a fire under them to you know, having the big noon kickoff crew there and big stage like against Ohio State. So I don't know.
Yeah, and again, we have another chance to play a top 10 team, a 4th game this year. We're gonna have a 5th one here soon, or no, not a 5th one. Never mind. But a couple teams probably in the top 25 to end the season. So we got to show something. I think Frost is fighting for his job these last 3 games, and
they're probably gonna be 3 of the better teams we played all year.
Yeah, and whether we win, whether we lose, if we lose, we can't get blown out. And we got to show something on the. We have to lose because we were competitive, not lose because we made a lot of mistakes.
Well, and it does get pretty old. You know, I saw somebody posted yesterday. They're like, "Man, are we gonna make this quarterback look like Tom Brady?" And, you know, we kind of did. A quarterback that, you know, is really not that good. And how many times have we said that over the years? Especially against teams like Purdue and Illinois.
Minnesota.
And, you know, Minnesota. Quarterbacks that are just terrible. And we make them look amazing. Yeah. And I'm not saying that anything bad against our defense. I don't know what it is. It's just we plan because we're like, oh, they're not good. We'll plan to stop the run. And then they just throw on us all day. And it's like, what? I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
people really scout us well, I guess.
Yeah. And Lynn, I mean, yeah, the coaching salaries are ridiculous, you know, as far as results on the field. But part of that, I think, is because of the revenue that football brings in compared to volleyball is so much bigger. It's probably why, and it's a product of the sport. The sport of college football, you see coaches, competitive salaries, coaches across the board. I mean, that's kind of why you're seeing some of those high salaries. But I agree. I mean, they get paid a lot, and yeah, we're not seeing results. So if our buddy Nick Zom, he's the one who kind of mentioned it earlier, and I mentioned at the beginning of the show, is I think it's $21 million for a buyout. If it comes down to that, guess what? Money's not an option right now. Nebraska has the money. They'll find the money. They're not worried about that.
No.
And we'll be able to bring in another coach and pay them well, just as much, if not, similar. That's not a problem. It's, do you do it? Is it the right time? And that's gonna be something that Trev is gonna have to figure out. And he's gonna get pushed by boosters too.
Then I mean, I don't know that you can give another coaching staff the same amount. They gotta earn it. I mean, it depends on who it is that you try to bring in. You know, if that ends up being the case, you gotta start them a little. Give them some incentive. Like, hey, this is what coaches were making. If you win the games that they were supposed to win, then this is what we'll give you.
Well, and let's not extend a coach early on before they actually do anything, because Moose did that just to show his loyalty. That Moose was never even there. He was never he never went to the games. He was never supporting the pro. He was there to, I don't even know, put his face every once in a while on the screen, and then go to Montana on his ranch. But I think Trev knows what to do, and I think he's going to have some push for the boosters, but I think he's doing his best to keep things under control. And
well, he's had to make tough decisions before, obviously, so he's got to make some tough decisions.
Yep. Just like Frost needs to if he wants to survive.
Yeah.
You can't be loyal to the guys that aren't being successful under coaching staff, and that's got to go. Mario's not the best in the business. I'm sorry. He hasn't been since he showed up in Nebraska.
Yeah.
He has not been. Go back to UCF if you want to win
Well,
there. Go back, but
And I was gonna do the numbers, and I kind of spaced on it, but I mean, this year alone, I mean, how many points a year, or how many points a game are we averaging? I swear we're in like the 17 to 23 point range.
Awful.
Every game, and that's just not gonna win games. I mean, maybe some close, bruising type Big Ten games against teams like, Michigan State, which actually that was a higher scoring game this year, or Iowa or Wisconsin, maybe, but you gotta score points.
Yep.
And not only that, but you look at some of those opponents we played earlier this season, Buffalo and not Fordham, but you see some of these teams like Buffalo's getting blown out by somebody else, and like some no-name team.
Yep.
And we won 28-3. We blew them out, but it's still just like not what it should be.
Yeah, I mean
a high-powered offensive coaching staff.
Yeah.
So with the weapons that we have.
Yep.
So
guys, I don't got anything else.
Mm-mm.
I'm glad we do these shows on Sunday because then we get to talk about it, and then I don't think about it the rest of the week.
No, me either.
I just move on to the next game, and I hopefully we can come out with some fire next week. Hopefully we see the team compete well offensively. I know our defense is going to show up. I know our defense is going to play real hard. I hope to see some heart on in the backfield. But would love to see Yant more. Yant ran the ball well yesterday.
He's probably going to have to against Ohio State too.
I think him and Johnson got to be 1 and 2.
Yeah.
If you bring in another running back, it's because of an injury or as a decoy or maybe coming out of the backfield to catch a pass. But, I mean, we got to have those guys as 1 and 2. I'd love to see Sevion in more as well in certain situations. But we gotta be well prepared, and we were not prepared for Purdue. So I really hope we're prepared for Ohio State. As much as I don't think their defense is their corners are definitely their weakness. But, again, we haven't shown anything to be scary on offense all year, really. Our defense has held us in every game.
Yeah, well, and, the only hope we can really have is Ohio State, they won by 9, but they, it was a hard-fought game against Penn State. Maybe they have a little bit of a letdown and think that they're just going to come in and blow our doors off.
I hope so.
We, make it a 4-quarter game.
I hope so.
So.
Well, I do want to give a big shout out to again to Capital City Sport Cards for allowing us to come in last week, talk to the guys, get them on video. Definitely a lot of fun talking to the guys. I mean, JoJo Stilley, Levi, Samari, and then Gary Nelson and Luke Reimer. I mean, just a great group of guys. Very tight knit group. Fun talking to them. We got the signatures on the helmet now. So we'll be getting more, as soon as we can.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Early on, I think Stilley and Garrett combined for a sack, tackle for loss, a couple.
They're in the backfield a lot.
And I was like, I hung out with those guys last week. And then Falk had that, which it was a beautiful throw by Martinez, which is funny because he can do that. But then Torrey's wide open and he can't hit him, and it's like the same thing. But Falk too, he's fun to chat with.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Anyways, guys, hopefully we come out with some fire next week. We support the guys, support the team. Hope to see some more fire next week on offense. Really hope to see some adjustments made on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it gets tough, man, because I'm always like down, and then by the time game day hits, I'm like, I'll get that excitement, and then I get that excitement, and then it's like, we're doing the same things again.
Crap. So, alright guys, take it easy. I'm Matt.
I'm Jimmy.
We're 2 average guys. Y'all have a good rest of your Sunday. Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Go get some candy if you got kids tonight.
Have
if you don't
fun.
have kids, go trick-or-treating, do whatever, have fun. Enjoy your evening, and go Big Red.
We'll see you next time.